Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the CHOFETZ CHAIM in the laws of Lashon HaRa, and he writes like this: Ein chilek b'isar sipur. There is no difference whether when you're telling over the words of Lashon HaRa, beinim sipur me'atzma b'ritzaynai, whether you say it over willingly on your own volition, ubein im omen alav chaverai b'dvarim, or you have a friend that's standing over you and kind of forcing you and putting pressure on you, putting pressure on you till you tell over the words of Lashon HaRa. Nevertheless, whether you do it on your own or whether somebody else is, so to speak, putting the pressure and forcing you to speak Lashon HaRa, if the words of Lashon HaRa come out of your mouth, it's Lashon HaRa. You can't blame it on your friend. Say, come on, tell me. What do you know about this person? Tell me, did you see what happened yesterday? It doesn't matter. You have a bechira, you have free will, and you have a choice whether or not you want to expose the words of Lashon HaRa. V'afilu aviv u'Rabbi, even if it's your father or your Rabbi, shemechuyev b'chvoidam u'v'moram, you are obligated to honor them and to fear them. Shelo lista divrei, you cannot contradict their words. If they ask you to tell over something about a certain person, and you know that by telling over this incident that you know about this person, you're for sure most likely going to come to speak Lashon HaRa, even if it's only the dust of Lashon HaRa, which we'll speak about later, what is the dust, but it's still considered Lashon HaRa. You are not allowed to listen to them, because you cannot violate Hashem's Torah, because you have an obligation to have honor for your parents. Even if you see that you are very careful and particular in this mitzvah, you never tell over the disgrace of another Jew, and you don't speak prohibited speech. Now let's say over here that you see you're going to end up losing a portion of your livelihood. You are under the jurisdiction of somebody else. They're your employer. And they're not religious. And it's known. They're not careful at all in the laws of Lashon HaRa. I want to take that back, that statement, because the truth of the matter is, unfortunately, even many people that are of a religious nature, or what we would call Shomer Shabbos, Orthodox, they're not so well versed. I don't want to speak Lashon HaRa, but they're not well versed in the laws of Lashon HaRa. And the Lashon HaRa is something that easily rolls off their tongue. So whenever you're dealing with somebody who is not particular to keep the laws of Lashon HaRa, says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, you might run yourself into some big trouble over here. They're not careful with this Avon HaChamor, with this very stringent type of a prohibition. And if they see that someone's mouth is not open like theirs, which means your boss is a Baal Lashon HaRa, he cannot stop talking Lashon HaRa, and he sees that you're like a mute, you don't talk Lashon HaRa. He says, oh, this guy's a fool. He's an ignoramus. He doesn't understand why he doesn't talk. And he says, I don't need people like this in my workforce. I need people on board with me. We got to sit around and schmooze, chew the rag, as they say. We got to talk about other people. I got to hear the inside scoop on what's going on with this one and going on that one. And this guy, Yankel over here, doesn't want to say a word. I don't need people like that around my business. I need people on board with me, on my team. And you're going to lose your job as a result of this, and you won't be able to support your family. Says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, you refuse to speak Lashon HaRa, even though your boss is pressuring you to do it, and he's begging you to say over the words of evil speech and gossip, and he's threatening you that if you don't, you're going to lose your job. Even if you're going to lose your job and Parnas is going to become very difficult, says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, Afal Pikein Aser, you're not allowed to say Lashon HaRa. Like any other prohibition in the Torah, if somebody asks you to do it, you have to be willing to give up your livelihood for such a thing. in order not to commit that Torah crime. Like it says in the Shulchan Aruch, you'll take a look over there. And that means that nobody should be able to force you to say words of Lashon HaRa. If you do, you've chosen that on your own, and therefore the punishments will come to you directly. But really, says the CHOFETZ Chaim, be strong and be bold and be courageous. And even though that you're getting pressured into speaking words of Lashon HaRa, and it might end up causing you to lose your job and the like, and friendships, and so on and so forth, not speaking Lashon HaRa is more important than anything, and therefore you'll give up money, you'll give up friendships, you'll give up status and the like in order not to let the words of gossip slip out of your lips. Chas v'shalom. Have a wonderful day.